high stakes negotiations. And I would point those progressive critics to the fact that just 2 days ago, I spent over an hour on The View. So I actually have great experience.
Stop scrolling. Watch the exact moment a politician delivers a perfectly deadpan joke on live television that had the entire internet dying of laughter. The delivery is absolutely flawless.
In very hostile negotiations, and I've used that. I mean, look, Joy Behar is way tougher than the Iranians, and she and I are best friends now, so we're going to get to a good place here.
Wait, did you catch that immediate double down? Look at how he refuses to break character here. Most politicians would deliver the punchline and then immediately pivot back to a safe, rehearsed talking point because they are terrified of offending the media class. But he doesn't flinch. He doubles down and specifically names the host, comparing her to a hostile foreign regime. It is an absolute masterclass in political judo. By maintaining that deadpan delivery, he weaponizes the media's own hostility against them, turning a traditionally stressful television appearance into a viral asset. You can't teach this level of comedic timing in a consulting room. It strips away all the performative tension and totally disarms his critics by making them the butt of the joke. This is exactly why this specific clip shattered the internet. People are so exhausted by highly scripted, focus group tested answers that when someone finally steps up to a podium and delivers a genuinely funny, unscripted roast, it instantly becomes impossible to ignore.
Let's talk about this administration.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow cartels to sex traffic people across our border.
And by the way, please hold on.
I appreciate that. We're going to get you back, Anna.
We're coming back with more with advice.
Okay, pause for a second and just watch the producer mechanics unfolding in real time. We call this the panic eject button. When a live segment starts spiraling out of the host's control and the guest starts landing undeniable facts, you will inevitably hear that magic music cue. The timing right here is absolutely not a coincidence. Right as he is gaining massive momentum and exposing a reality that the panel cannot argue against, they suddenly have to go to a commercial break. The urgency in her voice tells you everything you need to know about the sheer panic happening in their earpieces. Control room producers realize the narrative is actively collapsing, and cutting to break is the ultimate white flag in live broadcasting. It is the only way they can reset the board when they are losing badly. It is almost comical how perfectly timed it is. When facts start making people visibly uncomfortable on a highly produced set, the commercial break is always wearing a cape coming to the rescue.
Have a criminal record. They had a sex traffic conviction.
Don't have criminal records. The majority of people that ICE is rounding up and taking out of their homes from their families, they're separating families. They're using children as bait.
But
the majority are not criminal.
But can I respond to that? Guys, let me just say this. Okay. So you talk about the children. Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions?
Look at the frame control happening right here. The panel is trying to box him into an emotional corner, using incredibly highly charged language to paint a specific narrative about family separations. They want him playing defense. But instead of offering a watered-down apology or scrambling to explain himself, he completely flips the moral high ground. He introduces a massive, undeniable reality: cartel operations and human trafficking. And suddenly, the interviewers are the ones back on their heels. Notice how the panel immediately starts talking over each other the second he brings up the cartels? That is the exact sound of a narrative falling apart in real time. He completely rejects the premise of their loaded question. When you shift an argument from carefully curated outrage to the brutal, objective reality of what is actually happening at the border, it becomes nearly impossible to argue against without sounding completely unreasonable. This is exactly how you shatter a media trap.
Might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world. And the second message I would give to some of those cabinet members, Bibi, to his credit, has not gone down this path, But to some of these cabinet members in Israel who are attacking the President of the United States, the other thing that I would say is that over the last 3 months, 2/3 of the defensive weapons that have protected your homeland have been built by American hands and paid for by American tax dollars. The problem for Israel is not Donald J. Trump. And anybody in Israel who thinks their biggest problem is the President of the United States needs to wake up and smell the reality of the situation that country is in. I've seen some progressive criticisms of me personally saying, what experience does the Vice President of the United States have with hostile, high-stakes negotiations? And I would point those progressive critics to the fact that just 2 days ago, I spent over an hour on The View. So I actually have great experience in very hostile negotiations, and I've used that. I mean, look, Joy Behar is way tougher than the Iranians, and she and I are best friends now. So we're going to get to a good place here.
Are you seeing the broader strategy in this moment? This is a highly calculated rhetorical move. He is taking an incredibly complex geopolitical conflict involving international diplomacy and breaking it down into raw, universally understood terms. He completely avoids the typical, heavily layered Washington consultant speak that usually puts audiences to sleep. By plainly stating the exact financial and military backing provided by American tax dollars, he forces everyone to confront the objective reality of the alliance. It is incredibly rare to see this level of bluntness deployed on an international stage. He is essentially pointing out that when someone consistently pays for your defense during a crisis, publicly attacking them is a massive strategic error. Whether you agree with his specific foreign policy stance or not, you have to admit that this direct, unfiltered communication style is precisely why voters are paying attention. It completely strips away the diplomatic fluff.
And in some ways, very personally attack the President of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government,
Pay close attention to how he isolates the critics right here. When dealing with foreign policy, most officials use incredibly vague language, saying things like, "we urge our partners," or "we hope for cooperation." It is designed to say absolutely nothing. But he takes a totally different route. He directly names the political reality. They are attacking the only powerful ally they have left on the global stage. By framing it this way, he completely undercuts the critics within that foreign cabinet. He isn't pleading for them to play nice. He is reminding them of their own geopolitical vulnerability. It is a flex of leverage disguised as diplomatic advice. Look at his posture while he says it. There is no hesitation. This kind of blunt reality check is exactly what the modern political establishment tries to avoid, but it is exactly what resonates with an audience that is tired of watching their leaders apologize on the world stage.
Now, I saw the Axios report, that Netanyahu is fuming. That's not reflective of the conversations that I've had with him, but maybe he's saying something to somebody else that he's not saying to me. What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal.
Notice how he handles the media report right off the bat. A standard political response to a leaked report is to panic, deny it aggressively, or launch into a 5-minute defensive rant. Instead, he just casually swats it away like a fly. He points out that the leaked narrative completely contradicts his own direct conversations, and then subtly suggests that if someone is saying two different things, that's their problem, not his. It instantly diffuses the supposed bombshell nature of the report. This is a critical skill in modern media survival. Never let a headline dictate your emotional state. By treating the report as a minor annoyance rather than a major crisis, he robs the media of the exact reaction they were hoping to provoke. He sets the tone for the entire press conference right here. He is the one in control of the pace, the temperature, and the narrative. Hit subscribe if you love seeing the raw truth decoded, and drop a comment below on who you think won this debate.